Hey guys, welcome to the next video on Scala tutorial for beginners. In this video, we will learn how to use higher order functions in Scala. So first of all, what are higher order functions? Higher order functions are those functions which are able to take functions as arguments and are able to return functions, and these types of functions are called higher order functions. So higher order functions are able to take functions as an argument and are able to return function as a result. So let's see how we can define a higher order function. So let's say I want to declare a function which is able to do some arithmetic operations, for example, plus or multiplication, or finding the minimum of two numbers or three numbers, for example, and so on. So let me define a function, and I'm going to name it as a math function. And this function takes three arguments. First two are relatively straightforward. First argument is x, and the data type of it will be double. The second argument will be y, and the data type of this will be also double. And the third argument is interesting. So the third argument which we are going to pass here will be a function, and it's going to decide which arithmetic operation we want to perform here. Okay, so to pass a function as an argument, you just define the function name, for example, or argument name, as you do with your variable. Let's say I name it as f, and then colon, and then first of all, what are the argument which is taken by this function which you pass as an argument. So let's say this function which we pass as an argument is going to take two parameters. Both are double, so I'm going to just write double comma double. So this is the input of the function, and to define output, you can just write this rocket symbol and the return data type. So the return data type will also be a double. Okay, and then we are going to define the return data type of our math function. So this is also going to be a double. And then what will be the output? So what we want to do here, so we want to just write equals here, and then we want to call this function which we have passed as an argument. So we will pass this function, and then we will perform some operations using this function. So as an argument of this function, we will pass x and y as an input. Okay, so this function we are going to use, and we are going to pass x and y as an input. So I'm going to just write x comma y. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this function and pass the result into some argument. So let's say I will define a variable result, and then is equal to, and then we will call our math function which takes three arguments. So the first argument will be a double value. Let's say I just want to pass 50, and then I just want to pass 20 here. So what we can do here is we can just pass an anonymous function x comma y like this, which is going to give us the addition of these two numbers, something like x plus y, something like this. So we have provided three arguments to this math function. First two are numbers, and third is a function which is an anonymous function which takes two arguments, which is the signature of this function, and then it just returns the addition of these two numbers. Okay, and then I'm going to just print ln the result. Let's run this program, and let's see what's the result. And you can see the result is 70, which is the addition of these two numbers, right? Let's say we want to multiply these two numbers. So instead of plus, we can just write this asterisk here. Okay, and let's run the program once again, and now the result is 1000, which is the multiplication of these two numbers, right? Now let's say we want to just find the minimum of these two numbers. How we can achieve this is there is a function called min here, and this min is going to find the minimum of these two numbers, right? So let's run the program once again, and it returns 20, which is the minimum of these two numbers. Similarly, we can just pass max function, which is going to give us the maximum of these two values, which is 50 here. Okay, so now what's happening here is you can use this math function according to your needs. So you can use it for addition or multiplication or even subtraction of the two numbers, or division or anything you can do with the same function, which is our math function. Now let's say I want to pass 3 arguments into this math function. So x, y, and I'm going to just add one more argument, which is going to be z. Okay, so z, and the data type of it will be also double, right? And then what I want to do is I want to find the addition of these 3 numbers, or the minimum or multiplication of these 3 numbers. So how can I achieve this? So here, where I call this function, what I can do is, because it takes 2 arguments, so the first I will just enclose this function into the same function. So function inside function, I'm calling the same function as an argument, and then I'm going to pass z as a second argument, right? So because f takes 2 arguments, first argument we are going to pass the function which is the same function, which is going to give us the result of for example addition or multiplication of these 2 numbers, and once again we are going to apply the same function on the result of the function. Okay, so let's see how we can do it. So here we are going to pass the third number. Let's say the third number will be 10, and then let's say this function is going to just give us the addition of these 2 numbers. So I'm going to just pass this function as a 4th argument, which is going to give us the addition of the 2 numbers, and I'm going to just run this program, and now it gives me the addition of these 3 numbers, right? Let's say we want to find out the multiplication of these 3 numbers. It's going to give us the multiplication. Let's say we want to find out the minimum of these 3 numbers, and let's run the program, and it gives us the minimum of these 3 numbers. And for example, max of these 3 numbers, when we run the program, it's going to give us the max of these 3 arguments. Now in Scala, you can write this function in a more comfortable way, and this is by using a wildcard called underscore. So you can just write underscore plus underscore, which means we want to add something with something. Okay, so underscore here is a wildcard, so something, and then we have this plus function, and then we want to add something plus something. So this underscore notation makes this function really easy to write, and when you are comfortable with this notation, you will enjoy writing this kind of notation, right? So this underscore here is a wildcard, and this means we want to add something with something, right? So we will run the program, and then let's see the result, and result is 80, which is the addition of all these numbers. If you want to find the maximum, you can just write max here with the space and then run the program, and it's going to give us the maximum of these 3 numbers. So this underscore is called wildcard, and this underscore is used in different ways in Scala, which we are going to discuss in the future videos. So I hope you have understood the basic concept behind higher order functions, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and bye for now.